Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the channel. I am Charlemagne, and today I am joined by RavenPyros, one of the other Godforge content creators. He is the creator of RavenPyros.com, but why should I tell you about that when he can do it so much better? So, Raven, welcome to the channel, man. How are you?
Well, thanks. Good to be here. Thanks for having me on. Um, yeah, I make RavenPyros.com. Just trying to make a website that's really useful for everybody playing Godforge and looking forward to it. So
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, today we're going to be talking about some of the things that we believe Fateless has done right when it comes to the Godforge Alpha. So, kicking it off, Raven, I think one of the primary things that they did that, honestly, they just did well was the fast pain point focused updates between Wave 1 and 2. Right? Like the
mhm.
content creators got the patch notes, we were able to share it. In fact, they even shared the patch notes with the entire community after that. But so you and I both kind of have real life experience in like technology and software development. And like for you, I know it's like web design, but it's like those changes take time, right? Like,
Right.
like
Yeah, I was
small
expecting like
tweaks at a
maybe a
time.
tenth of what they did, and there was going to be like we fixed these two game breaking bugs or whatever, where like
Yeah.
hopefully I can actually play a
It's
level
like
without it
you can finally
locking up
kill
pretty much,
Isis
and
and Hercules. It's like, okay, now
right.
enjoy wave 2.
I can use my Heimdall without waiting a minute between each skill. So,
Yeah, seriously. And now we're like, what? By the time this video comes out, we'll be almost a week into wave 2. And we've gotten a good vibe for like the camera angles that they updated. Certainly, I don't know about you, but hero unbinding has been a massive win for me when it comes to wave 2. Yeah, it's been a great thing. So for me, like one of the things that they did right out of the gate for this wave in particular was just that fast delivery. And it wasn't just this is what we think y'all need. It's like, well, we played wave 1, we also got all the feedback, so here are the like very pain point specific things we can update that are going to make the quality of life of alpha that much better. We can show it right now on screen, but like hero unbinding, the fact, like, granted, people can say what they may want to say about like, what the actual assets on the screen look like. But the reality is that just bringing a quality of life that we can automatically just burn our champs into spirits, that's a huge win in my book.
and then it gets you XPs also, which goes into my first thing, which was that they don't make you waste resources. So like all the time
Mm,
that you spend is beneficial. So the biggest thing with that is if I go into a fight and I use let's do an easy fight, some maxed out heroes to uh, complete the level,
hmm
whatever XPs that I get, even if they're if they're maxed out, whatever XPs that would have gone into them, um, will just overflow into my account to
Yeah.
where I now um, get those XPs on my account.
Yeah.
Um,
It's such a
and
huge
then
win, right? It's like they could have very easily just done the typical standard where it's like if you want to rank things up, you need to bring them into a fight and you need to slowly level them up to be able to use them as food. But instead, well, we'll spend hours farming, and then all that XP that we lost, it's just in our inventory, ready to be used on the heroes.
right, and then you can that allows for the kind of gameplay that often we want to do, where we can leave it farming some and then go and level up other heroes, or just use the heroes that we want and then put the XP into our others. And
Right.
then I found that it goes even a step further, where if your hero roster is full and you get a hero that can't fit, it'll give you the imprint for that hero.
Oh, I don't know about you, man. I don't know if I'd call that quality of life. I would call that terrifying.
I know. I know that.
I I think I officially got like I don't know if it was like my fourth or fifth raw yesterday, which I might be aiming for the most powerful raw in all of Godforge Alpha, just to show how incredible he is. But that all kind of comes down. So my second thing is really like the boils down to the heroes, and it's that like fun focused hero design, right? So we've heard the game designers talk in the podcast, and even like talking with Brad on my channel. I'll throw a pin up in the top right corner if you guys have not seen that video. But they talk about like when it comes to building heroes, all of the effort they go into to make sure that every hero feels powerful. And like Scotty right there in your inventory is a great example of this. Dirk said before the alpha even released that, man, I thought Scotty was a legendary, which, you know, I was chatting with Simon the other day. He said he thinks Dirk designed her. So I'm not quite sure who's right there. But I mean, but like, let's be honest. In the context of alpha, Scotty is one of the primary heroes in the entire roster that brings both freeze and decreased speed. And if you pair those two together, she brings the big version of decreased speed, which is just massive benefit for your team when it comes to control. I mean, this hero is a rare, and she's one of the most like useful heroes in the entire roster. If you ask me, I would say one of the MVPs of the entire alpha.
Agreed. And there's like there seems to be a cohesiveness to the design of the heroes too, where it's like, okay, this hero's skills and our abilities make sense with each other. I can see, you know, here's sort of their purpose, and it's a very flexible purpose still. Like, it's not like, you know, you have to have this hero for this job, but there's because there's a lot of different ways of, you know, doing, you know, CC or whatever. But it's not like, okay, the core ability does this random thing and then the ultimate does something totally different. What is this supposed to be for?
I would say the only hero so far, and I haven't tested them all, so, you know, if there's another hero that I'm not thinking about, guys, leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. But for me, Loki's kit doesn't really make sense. With Loki having the taunt and charm and everything that makes him feel like he should be a tank, but then ends up, you want to build him for damage and it's all attack based. It's really challenging. So it's like he's just being put in then to control waves if you can get back around to his skills fast enough, but then he's not actually really bringing anything else to your team. So it just feels a little wonky to me. I don't know if that's been your experience. Have you had any other heroes?
Yeah, I wasn't sure exactly how I would use. I generally undervalue support and CC, like in these games. Like I always have to. Okay, no, this is actually a useful slot to have somebody, you know, controlling everybody.
Yeah, it's very useful. It's very useful, especially when you get up to those waves. I don't know about you, but it's not a wall, but it's a wave 141 is a lot stronger than all of the waves in the 30s, 130s. So I'm gonna have to be grinding some gold and getting some gear today to make sure I can continue to progress. But so yeah, so like Loki and everything, but like when it comes to his kit doesn't always make sense, but like the point of this topic is like that everybody feels fun, right? And I think like one of my primary examples of that, and I'd love to hear like somebody who would highlight for you, is Zeus. My 30 billion damage run from wave 1 is because of him, well, in the supports that enabled him, but I mean, he's such a crazy damage dealer and can like just start throwing out more attacks and pair him with the Dagonet passive, and he's just attacking more and more. I mean, he feels so powerful, right? It's just fun. It's just a lot of fun. But like, what about you? Has there been a particular hero that has really hit that fun factor for you?
Sphinx actually was probably my favorite this go around. I got her at level 30 as my guaranteed, and just being able to do the AoE A1 is a big deal, because I've tried to build as much like counterattack and allied or joint attack stuff as I can with her, and so then, you know, she's constantly just hitting everybody. I like defensive based champions in general, so I've got her and Heimdall paired, you know, as well as Isis, so both Heimdall and Isis will do defense up, and then Sphinx has this defense base, and so they hits hard, and so all those I really like them.
But that's awesome.
Frequent AoE hits.
Yeah, the Hercules was the only one that I was able to get for wave 1 that did that, but that was always a lot of fun. I have not pulled either of those in wave 2. So, well, what about you? What was your number 2 on what Alpha did right?
So sort of in line with my number 1 with just, you know, resources not being wasted, is I really like how they've done energy in this. So they've given us so much energy, it's really not even a factor, but still the mechanics that they're putting in kind of shows you some of what they're maybe thinking. And as I understand it, like if you fail a wave, or even if you succeed a wave that you've not done before, it doesn't use up your energy, and so you're free to like progress or try things and fail as much as you want without any like penalty to you. So, in my thinking, the whole purpose of an energy mechanic is to add some kind of longevity to the game for people that play or that can play, 16 hours a day or whatever, like,
Right.
so that they don't, go so far beyond everybody else very quickly.
Right.
It sort of constrains how much you can do each day in a way that makes everybody on a slightly more level playing field. So that's the purpose of it. But there's no reason to penalize like trying stuff out. Like if I want to
Mhm.
spend if I want to spend 6 hours like trying to see if I can make this wonky team work, like that's good for the game. It doesn't hurt anybody else for me to do that. Um,
Yes.
and so then they don't penalize that, and that's I think really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you're right. It's like, well, I can spend all these hours, which I'll use my example when I was trying to defeat 90 Fafnir for the first time. It's like I can spend these hours trying to fight him, but then I still need to use time to gain some resources to further build up the team that I think is going to work. And if I'm using the same resource for the same thing, then I'm never actually going to be able to complete what I'm going to complete, or at least if I do, it's going to take twice as much time. So, I mean, I agree with you, man. I think that is awesome in what they're doing. I hope that fully carries over into the launch. I would assume it will, because like I know that this video is not a Godforge versus Raid video, but like I know like every time the event dungeon comes out in Raid, I'm immediately frustrated because I have to use up all of that energy just to get back to stage like 25 or 30, whichever one I'm hoping to farm, and it's just like
Right.
such a frustration, right?
Yep. Yep. And I think it makes sense to have energy so that you can't just farm. Uh, I'll have my game farming all night or whatever.
Hmm.
That shouldn't put me like 20x ahead of somebody who can't do that.
Right.
Especially a mobile game, you can't do that on mobile really. So
Right, right, and
it's
it's
just a
like
really good
especially
balance
like
of the two ways of both sides of energy. So
absolutely because I think when it comes down to the full game, because we won't be really grinding for heroes, we'll be grinding for gear, and the more you grind for gear, the better your gear, the better your heroes, everything like that. And so yeah, there has to be some kind of time gate for everyone. And while on the topic of energy, my third point was actually, so this one is very alpha specific, right? Because we won't be seeing this necessarily in the full game, but is the amount of energy that is gained in alpha. There was a lot of concern at the very beginning of like, okay, well, we have this much energy. That means we'll be able to go through this many waves or farm this much, and then we're going to have to rest for this amount of time. But the amount of energy that's being rewarded, forget about like what Fateless is like dropping onto our accounts, which is great too. Like, don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
I think they've dropped like what, 4,000 energy just this wave alone. It's either 2 or 4. I'm not quite sure, which is just crazy, right? But even still, as we progress, we're getting like 4 or 5, I think up to 600 energy in the higher levels on particular level rewards. And that just empowers us as players to be able to go back in, go test some more things, grind some more gear or weapons or God Steel or whatever, just so that we continue to progress. And I don't feel the sense of doom, I guess we could say, of zero energy upon me, which is nice.
All right.
It allows me to enjoy the game. I don't know what your experience has been though.
Yeah, it's almost like they want us to be able to play the games.
Yeah, it's almost like they want us to test everything and break the game so they can make the game better. Man, that's so odd. It's like this is
But you-
alpha.
Yeah, you see it just in how they're interacting, though, with how they're doing stuff. It's like they are totally excited about playing the game themselves too. That comes across in their communication on Discord, the way that they've done all of this. Like it's they're smart guys. But it doesn't feel like everything is totally just calculated. Like a lot of it is also about like what's fun, and that's a bigger part of the calculation than I think a lot of game studios have once they get big.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, talking about making it fun, Simon said on his live stream on day 1 of Wave 2 that he's like, I went to the team, was like, we've got to create a second pool of heroes for Fafnir 30, that where we guarantee a legendary. And he said that their initial pushback was just like, no, like we shouldn't do that. That changed the experience. And he said, no, they've tested those heroes. They've played those heroes. We need to give them other heroes. Make it fun. And he basically just looked at everyone and was like, I got what I want.
Yeah. And that has made it like a new, yeah, it's changed things up. Like if I had just gotten the same people, I likely would have been tempted to build what worked for me last time. Whereas, yeah, getting streams this time was like, man, I never got to try this before, and it's a lot of fun trying it out. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I know like my 30 pull, you said yours was Sphinx, mine was Hell, and she was super bugged in wave 1, and we weren't able to see her full potential. But now I'm using her ultimate, I'm resurrecting the enemy team, I'm increasing my own attack because I have her passive up, and it's just like more damage on more damage. It's a lot of fun. The fun is there. So what was your next thing, Raven, about kind of what they've done right?
The weapon system. So yeah, you've got your gear for your hero, but you've also you get all these weapons, and they'll give, well, if you can level them up, they give pretty strong bonuses. Like there's a ton of attack, a ton of crit damage. If I can get it, actually, I can do it now. You can. It has its own leveling system, so I can level up as I get duplicates of this weapon. I can, level it up. Gives me, even bigger bonuses, and so then this is almost like, an additional passive to your your characters. You've got your, now the person, whoever's wielding this, gets 50 divinity when placing blaze debuff, and so any, hero that does anything with blaze, you can have that effect, and then, plus the big stat boost on it.
I mean, come on. An additional 70% crit damage, 600 attack. That's huge, man. That's huge.
Yeah. And then some of them give accuracy also, which, allows for different, so you can have different weapons for different types of heroes.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
There's some pretty cool effects in here. Like, if you're building somebody around counterattack and stuff.
Sharu is really good. There's always the Heka, which increases a lot of attack damage on a hero based off of HP add. I right now am using, I know, my only issue with the weapons is that the reuse.
We don't have icons for all of them yet.
The reuse of icons is like, oh man. But no, the Heka is like one of the epic swords.
That's what I thought of it.
Yeah, one of them. But for me, I'm using the lightning bolt right now on my Zeus, which grants an additional like HP percentage damage on a single hit. Single target attacks inflict an additional 5%. It increases 6, 7, 8% max HP damage. I am going one at a time through the waves and just like primary attack, like just crushing everything. Which is a lot of fun. I was lucky. I got a attack and crit damage one, and I was like, oh, okay, well, guess I'm gonna be able to build this. I just need to now go farm some Godsteel. I agree with you, man. I think the weapons are a lot of fun. It adds a lot of additional things to look at, because I actually realized the other day, I wasn't even thinking about this until recently, is that, a lot of us come from Raid Shadow Legends and we're accustomed to having like the spider accessories to build out our heroes, and we don't have that inside of Godforge. I think weapons do a lot to bring additional stats to your heroes, and I think we're also going to see further growth of that when Attunement comes in the full game as well. But that does kind of go to my next point, actually. You're setting me up so well, Raven. Man, we should collab more often. Actually, so the hero build complexity, that and what they've done in this area is awesome. So there are the stats, right? And we know that like when you go to gear, it's like the pauldrons and everything like that, and legs and other pieces of equipment that we're not necessarily used to. There's not as many flat stats on different types of gear, right? Like you can apply crit damage to your shoulders, the pauldrons. You can apply speed to the legs. Yeah, right there. Initiative to the helmet. Like there is so much complexity and availability when it comes to, the stats, what is available based off of rarity, what the set is doing, right? What the rank even of the gear is and how many stats we get. It's just awesome to be able to see that complexity. And then when it even comes, then add on an additional, passive for the hero, passive on the imprint, ability on the weapon. There's just so many little things to do on a hero to make them special. In fact, I think like even just being able to do this is what has resulted in the solution to Fafnir this run, right? With the Isolde passive on defenders. If, you know, Ragewood guys has done a great video on how Fafnir is manageable, 150 and 90. So go ahead and go check out Ragewood's video over there. He's done a great video on that topic. But yeah, it's only because of the complexity of hero build that's allowed. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree that, yeah, you have a lot of, you can do pretty extreme builds if you want to, with the, you know, the fact that so many different pieces do have, you know, percentage boosts on them, and then the sets some of them are pretty impactful too with what they do.
Well, and I forget what it's called. So you have a pair of legs, your third row in the middle. Yeah, the Avenger set. Dude, I have that on Zeus right now. Oh my goodness. It's like he attacks, if he takes any hit at all and he attacks somebody, he's straight up back to full health, which is so great. I mean, this is what, their version of lifesteal, but man, we get this with 2 pieces of equipment, not 4, which is awesome.
Yeah, I like the way they've done it too, because you know, a lot of the sets are 2 pieces, or if they're more pieces, then once you get 4, it does something different. Like, it doesn't just double this, you know. And that allows you to do, you know, maybe where it's useful wearing just 2 of these, but also this can be fairly powerful in a way that wouldn't stack. You know, like, you don't want this to stack to 45% of damage or whatever.
Right.
And so by having additional, you know, effects for 4 and 6, it makes. Oh, I need to try to get that.
Man, I need to try to get that on my Zeus. Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
So yeah, that will stack with the hero too. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and it gives you a chance to. Okay.
Yes, it gives you the chance to counter attack on the 4, which I'd just be happy with that alone. If you could build a 6, I am going to go farm.
I'm trying to get that on my Sphinx with the, you know, the AoE attack all the time. So.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of, even without the, you know, the additional 6 pieces of accessories that we have in Raid, there's, you know, in Raid, the top 3 slots are almost, well, you only care about the substats. The primary stats is pretty much useless because they're flat. And so you don't have any of those useless-ish slots, which kind of, you know, lets you do more here. So yeah, I agree. That's a really cool system. And you mentioned, just to build Flexi, that goes into my 4th one, which is the imprint system. So we talked about weapons, but I only covered really half of them. So
I mean, it's the other half of the weapon system, right?
Right. So with a weapon, you can put an imprint on them too, and that is. Let me change this, but
I was about to say that's an interesting choice for an imprint.
I think I was using this weapon on somebody else, on Ramses before, actually, and moved it to so you can extract basically a weaker version of a passive from any hero. So we can take any hero like Isolde and extract basically a weaker version of her passive. So when an ally defender is attacked, heal all allies by 2.5% of this hero's max HP. And I can put that on a weapon, which I can equip to any of my other heroes. Yeah, I can choose an imprint here that I want to put on this weapon, and that will make it where the hero wielding this weapon gets this imprint as a second passive. And that allows for a ton of additional, you know, flexibility in your builds and ways of doing things, because you can do all kinds of stuff with it. And then it makes it where even like a hero that you might not need or use might still be exciting to get, because it's like, okay, I might not need them, but I do need their passive on, you know, again, like you said, where a lot of people are using this rare heroes passive on on several of their heroes to defeat the boss. On top of that, I say then the other thing with the imprints is it's not just that you can put them on weapons, but you can also use them to awaken your heroes. So hero awakening in general, like you can use duplicates of a hero to, you know, basically empower a hero even more. But you can use the imprints for them to do that too. And I think that adds a whole lot of possibilities for them on, like with rewards, because, you know, you might not want to give a legendary hero in a few weeks or something, but just because you want them to be scarce enough that it actually feels good to get them.
Yeah.
But once you do have them, if you get an imprint for them, you might get, sort of the essence of them that you can use on one of your weapons where, you still get that fun factor from having that, as well as if you do have the hero, being able to use it to awaken them.
Yeah.
I think it gives them a lot of options when it comes to rewards. That will be fun to see.
Yeah, something we haven't experienced in Alpha, but we know is the universal imprints, right? So it's like we have the imprints from the heroes that we can keep in the Anvil of Creation, and we can even do that and like store them for later, which is great. But then there will also be at some point some type of reward given, whether it's events, whether it's specific like dungeons or anything that is a universal imprint. And so it really allows the player to focus in on the hero they want to make more powerful, right? It's like, okay, well, I want my Heimdall at Awakening 5, but I can't pull 6 Heimdalls. Okay, well, over time, though, you may be able to get enough universal imprints to where you can get maybe one, or you maybe get another, or maybe a second Heimdall, but then you also get the universal imprints. And that allows you, that gives the player choice into the player's hands to be able to strengthen their account how they want to strengthen it. It's great.
Yeah, I really love that, and it seems like a brilliant system for doing it.
It really does. And I mean, honestly, like clearly, guys, like we've talked about a lot of things that Alpha has done right, and I think we chatted beforehand, and our 5th one was the exact same. So I'll start us off here, man. There was a lot of questions around this topic leading up to the Alpha, and I think honestly it's landed really well, and that is ultimates. Man. Talk about a mechanic that makes this game feel set apart. I mean, Raven, what's been your experience? I could go on and on, but like, what's been your experience when it's come to ultimates in Godforge? Like, how's it felt for you? Like, does it work? Like, what has been your experience?
Yeah, I know they kept talking, before any of us got to play about how, people asked me, what sets us apart, and they kept mentioning it as like, it's kind of hard to even explain. It's not a difficult concept to explain, but it's hard to explain how impactful it feels when you actually use it. And so, like, basically, your heroes, you have in addition to your turn meter, you've got a divinity meter where you can work on, building that up. In addition to speed, there's like initiative for building that up faster, and then each hero has its own way of building up divinity, and then that unlocks when their divinity meter is full, they can use their ultimate skill. But you can save that up to where it can be used on other heroes' turns. And so, I might, be saving, I'll say my Isis, she has a revive on her ultimate. If one of my heroes goes down, if any of my other heroes get a turn, I can use her ultimate to revive them, on that hero's turn instead of waiting for her turn. And you can kind of save those up to where, through my waves, I didn't even use my ultimates. And then at the end, I'm like unleashing, 4 ultimates all in, plus the hero's actual turn, because it doesn't use up your turn to use your ultimate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just feels really fun. You get kind of this, ebb and flow of combat that is a lot of fun. I don't know if you can appreciate how fun it feels without playing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really is challenging to kind of explain the impact that it makes inside of combat. And honestly, guys, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you have not gotten access to the alpha so far, they did release open access via PC to Wave 2. So if you're not playing Godforge Alpha, you need to. Check out the link in the description. I'll have it there, and you'll be able to follow that link and be able to get access into the alpha and join us in this experience. It's been a total blast, and you'll be able to understand firsthand what Divinity does and what Initiative and Ultimates do. It really does make the game feel different. I think you say it really well, Raven, when you're talking about like the use of ultimates. Like, okay, I know I have like wave 3 is typically like the hardest wave, or there isn't actually a boss on that level or anything like that, or especially like prepping for Golden Guardian or Fafnir. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to use my abilities to kind of like manage the waves, get all those ultimates up, and then be able to really set myself up for success at the end. And so it's like, not only are you managing builds and characters and abilities and combos, but you're also building and preparing your heroes along the way as well and managing that time, which could potentially, well, it depends on what they do with like presets, right? If they preset how we can play through the waves and say never use an ultimate until wave 3, then that will make it easier. And I hope that they eventually bring that for launch. But if not, it will provide a little bit more complexity to playing this game. I think they asked a lot of questions when it comes to ultimates, and frankly, I think they nailed it on the head. I think that ultimates are an absolute like A+ addition to the Hero Collector turn-based RPG style of gameplay. I think it's going to continue to be an awesome addition. I think everybody's really going to like it. But I think it also instills fear, right? I know like right now, Gilgamesh is a prime example of this for me. It's like I know that as I kill the enemies, his turn meter, his ultimate is just going to max immediately. And if I do not kill him before it's his turn or anybody's turn, like I'm in trouble. And I might have to restart the wave because he smacks so hard, right? In those upper floors. And so, yeah, it's just like this whole different mechanic that we really have to think through. I think it's awesome.
Yeah. And like stacking with your other points on just the flexibility of hero builds. Like there's so many of them that can interact with each other and even how your divinity is built up. And it makes for a really fun system.
Yeah, every hero has a different way they gain divinity, and then based off of how much initiative stat they have, it determines how quickly they gain that divinity, when they gain it. I think it's a huge win. Win. Well, man, I think we have gone on long enough. Raven, do you have anything else to add about what Godforge has done right in these alphas?
Yeah, I could keep going on for quite a bit, but yeah, I think we covered the
I
some
think
of the big things that I think really make it stand out.
Yeah, you know, it's funny to see people in the Discord. Some people get it, some people don't, right? Like nobody can please everyone, and Godforge Alpha is no exception. If it's not your jam, it's not your jam. But for those of us who, you know, you could say maybe drank the juice, right? It has been a great experience. So, you know, guys, thank you so much. But this isn't the end. If you've enjoyed this video, check out the link that I'm going to put in the description. I'm going to pin it in my comment down below. We are continuing our conversation on RavenPyros' channel, but it is about what did Raid Shadow Legends do right. That's right. You heard me correctly. Raid Shadow Legends did actually do some things right. So check out that video. I'm excited to record that and do that with you, Raven. I think it's going to be a great conversation. Guys, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Drop a like, subscribe to mine and Raven's channel. Again, RavenPyros.com. He is creating a fantastic website over there. So check it out, and we'll see you in the next one.